Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to welcome you to our program this afternoon, the Ceremonial Rehabilitation Groundbreaking. And I'll put air quotes around groundbreaking because the ground has already been broken, obviously, as you can see with the construction, but we did want to not let this milestone of the rehabilitation of this high-rise building go unnoticed and without some sort of recognition. And so for those of you who are wearing heels this afternoon, you don't have to worry about getting them sunk in dirt. So there won't be any groundbreaking ceremony. But again, this is just to recognize and highlight what's going on this property. So I'd like to welcome you, all of you who have taken time out of your schedules to join us here this afternoon for this wonderful ceremony. My name is Susan Johnson-Velez. For those of you who don't know me, I'm the current chair of the Housing Authority Board of Commissioners. I also want to recognize my fellow commissioner. Where did he go? Jim Clore, who is here, the vice chair of the board. So if we could just all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. And if we could all just take a moment now of silent prayer or meditation. Right. Thank you. We have a number of honored guests with us this afternoon. I'd like to recognize them. First, we have the Honorable Jane Castor, Mayor of the City of Tampa. We have with us our Alicia Scott Ford, the Regional Director of the HUD office in Jacksonville. Welcome, thank you. We have with us Councilman Orlando Goods. Councilman. We also have Councilman Guido Maniscalco. We have Malcolm Kiner, the Outreach Director for the City of Tampa. And also Dwayne Mallory, aide to Congresswoman Kathy Castor. And I'd like to also recognize our partners, our community partners in this project, Related Group. With the representatives of Related, please either stand or wave your hands. Also West River, which is the partnership between the Housing Authority and Related Group for this project.
State representative.
Okay. I'd also like to recognize State Representative Diane Hart. And Hennessy, which is the contractor for this project, representatives of Hennessy. And finally, Place Architecture. Place Architecture, they're the architects for this project as well. And for an overview of this project, I'd like to call forward Brett Green with Related Urban Group.
So thank you all for being with us today, and it's an exciting day for this community and the whole community in general as we start on this rehabilitation project. This community's lacked investment for quite some time, and we're here to help lead the charge of bringing new investment into the West Tampa and West River community. And we're starting now with the rehabilitation of Mary Bethune. It has 150 apartments. It was built back in the 1960s, and although the Housing Authority has done what they can to keep it up as best as possible, it's lacked significant investment, since that time. So our scope includes taking it down to the bare bones and bringing all new sewer and plumbing stacks, electrical. When it's complete, it's going to be a beautiful place for these seniors to call home. It's going to be green building certified. It's going to have granite countertops, solid service floors. I mean, anyone who's seen our market rate projects up the street, it's going to have very similar size and quality of finishes that we have there. I also want to say thanks to the City of Tampa and everything that you all have done to support this project for many years. Even before we were involved in the development, Tampa Housing's been been working on this project for quite some time. Mayor Buckhorn was a huge advocate for moving this development forward, and now Mayor Castor, when you were on the campaign, we had lunch, and you voiced your support for this community. And you mentioned the times that you came over here as police chief, and you know, we're hoping that we can eliminate a lot of that as we bring new excitement and revitalization into this community. We're also really thankful for our partnership with Tampa Housing Authority and Leroy and Jerome and all the work that you all do, and your staff does an excellent job. You know, our president and CEO, George Perez, couldn't be with us here today. You know, a lot of people are traveling during the summertime and they couldn't get over here, but Nick Perez, the future of our company, is here with us today. And our management staff, who's going to help run the developments when they're complete. Doreen and Marilyn from TRG Management are here. And this project is just the very beginning of what we're doing here with West River. We have, if you look right here behind you, we have a 6-acre parcel that we're going to be starting construction on at least 3, maybe 4 projects by the end of the year. Over 600 units that will be mixed income for families throughout the community. So we're excited. This is the first of many projects for our company here, and we're ready to get going. So appreciate you all coming out today, and thanks a lot.
Thank you, Brett. And now we have a special treat, a portrayal of Mary Bethune, the namesake of this building. So I'd like to call Ursula Odom, please, to come forward.
Good afternoon. How wonderful you look today. And what a momentous occasion this is. It is a salute to the future, a tribute to wise decisions, and in honor of the work yet to be done. It reminds me of the day that we broke ground on my beloved Bethune-Cookman College. Oh, there's someone here from there, I take it. Wise decisions, as I said. My life has been built on a foundation of dreams. You see, I was born to former slaves, and I was number 15 out of 17 children. And I was accompanying my mother to the home of a woman that she was once a slave of, to carry a load of wash. And all I wanted to do was play with the little girls in the yard. And all was well when I played mammy to their little dolls. But then I saw something, and I reached for it. And I heard, "Put that down. You can't read." Not only was this child telling me I could not read, which was true, but that I should not read. And that did something to me. It hurt me to my core. I thought that was the worst day of my life. Could not read and should not read. But as it may be, it may have been the best day of my life, because it was this day that I became bound and determined that I would learn to read, and that every child that came within my midst would learn to read. I did get that opportunity because of the goodwill of many people around this country. And I carried that dream with me until the day that someone asked me to come to Daytona, Florida, to start a school. With my education, I proceeded to go. With that train coming into Florida, wealthy people coming along with it, workers following that work that goes with the building of the railroad, and their families following them. But the children ran about. I had to do something. I had to start that school. That being said, I had to find a place to have the school. I looked all over Daytona, walked up and down dusty roads looking for a place to start this school. A shack, a hut. I didn't care, anything. And then a man said he would allow me to rent a building for $11 a month. Now, I only had $1.50. But I said I would find a way to raise that money. And we did, selling pies, eggs, and anything else we could. And we opened on October 3rd, 1904, with a song, "What a fellowship, what a joy divine, leaning on the everlasting arm." You know that song. And the Lord's Prayer. We grew, and it came time to expand. But this time I wanted to own the land. I wanted to have a board of directors. And I did not fear approaching people with money who had followed that train. And I requested the audience of Procter & Gamble's James P. Gamble. I sat with him and told him of my dream. And he followed me to the site where the school was. And what he saw were dedicated young people sitting on broken chairs at crates covered with butcher block paper, writing with sticks that they had dipped in elderberry juice. And he looked at me and he said, "Mrs. Bethune, where is this school you want me to be a trustee of?" I said, "In my heart." So from my heart, and with some of his money, buildings rose from the ground that you see today. I have come from "you can't read" to having a building in my name for the good of all. And as the renovations of this building bring to life your dreams, remember, do not forget those who made your dreams possible. I am grateful to God and those who helped me along the way, because I have risen from the cotton fields of South Carolina to form my beloved Bethune-Cookman College, to start and lead many organizations, to advise 5 presidents, and to speak on behalf of citizens all over these United States. I am thrilled that God chose me as an example that regardless of where you start, you can reach your dreams if you have the courage to reach for them. And with that, I say it's time to get about the business of building the future. And I bid you a good day.
Ursula Odom, thank you so much. Wow, that was fantastic. All right, next I would like to ask Mayor Jane Castor to come forward for some remarks.
Thank you, Susan. Hard to follow Mary Bethune. A little difficult there. Actually, Susan and I go back. Our kids went to school together a while back, although we're both too young to have college-age children. But it is such an honor to be here today. This West Tampa has always been a big part of my life. As a police officer, this was one of the first neighborhoods that I patrolled way back in the 1980s. And I'll tell you a very quick story that really shaped my career as an officer. I was driving down Main Street one day, and there was an individual, an old truck, had a tag on there that didn't belong. I pulled him over, elderly gentleman driving. I gave him a citation that for the tag that he had. It was a criminal offense to put a tag that didn't belong on the car. So I felt good as I walked back to my car because I was giving him a break. You know, he wasn't arrested. I just gave him a citation. He could take care of it and everything was fine. So a month later, I see him down on Main Street. I just stop and say, "How you doing today?" And he says, "Well, I'm not doing good." And I said, "Well, why is that?" And he said, "You remember that ticket you gave me?" And I barely remembered it. But he said, "I couldn't afford to pay that ticket." He said, "So my driver's license was suspended, which canceled my insurance." And he said, "I had to sell my truck to take care of everything." And he said, "And I'm a junk man. That's my livelihood." So for me, I just wrote a citation. For him, it was a life-changing event. So at that very moment, it became crystal clear what my duties were as an officer in this neighborhood and every other neighborhood in the community. And that was to serve the citizens and to understand and know the citizens that I was serving. And so I carried that lesson throughout my career. I also have a lot of other history, personal history in this neighborhood as well, besides patrolling as an officer. My family has a cabinet shop a mere 3 blocks away, right over on Rome and Green. They've had it there since 1977, and I actually worked there while I was going to school at the University of Tampa. So I know a lot of the people. I know Pookie, who still has his business detailing right down on the corner here. But this neighborhood has already seen a lot of transformation. I don't know if anybody's been to, I believe is it the Main Event, the restaurant on Main Street? That I don't know so much about the name of it, but the food is delicious. It's in the 2100 block, so when you guys leave here, please stop by there at the restaurant. But it is so wonderful to see the changes over here on the West Bank. You know, our river has always been the heartbeat of our community. And now to see that being revitalized and to see the West Bank come alive, not only with the different projects, but also the businesses that will allow everyone over here in West Tampa to thrive and be a part of Tampa's future success. Very, very important. And the significance of this particular project, Mary Bethune, you know, for this to be a location that our elderly residents can come and live is so, so important. Number one, it's one of the issues that is near and dear to my administration, and that is affordable housing. Our city was built on our diversity, and it's imperative that we ensure that we keep our community very, very diverse. But to be able to make these affordable housing units available to our elderly citizens, they will be able to keep West Tampa's history and West Tampa's story alive for the generations of young kids who come through West Tampa. So I can't think of a project that is more important than this Mary Bethune high-rise right now. And it's my hope and prayer that a lot of the residents that were living here before can come back, and the individuals who were born and raised in West Tampa, so they can pass on those stories to the next generation, who can pass them on to the next generation, and keep traditions and culture alive here in the West Bank area. So I could not be more excited. Also to partner with the Related group, just a fantastic group that we have lured away from Miami a little bit, and hopefully we will be doing many, many more projects with you, because you guys are great partners, as is every other agency that was mentioned as well. Jerome Ryans and I, we go back way too many years with the Housing Authority. We have worked our entire careers together to make this community a better city for all of its residents. So I thank each and every person who has a hand in this project and all of the other projects here in the West Bank. It is going to come alive over here with retail, with housing, with amenities. This is going to be an amazing neighborhood. And you know why? Because here in Tampa, we are dreaming big. And this is just yet another example of being able, as Mary Bethune Cookman said earlier about her dream, this is our dream as a city of Tampa, and we're going to dream big. And as you all know, my tagline, this city is on fire, and this is a great example of that fire. So thank you to everybody who has played a part in it, and also to the politicians, not only to City Council for all of their assistance and partnership, but also to our state rep, Diane Hart, for what she has done to make sure that Tampa is not forgotten up in Tallahassee. So thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And now I'd like to ask Alicia Scott Ford, again with HUD's regional office in Jacksonville, to come forward.
Thank you. Now, the mayor talks about following Mary Bethune. I'm talking about following the wonderful speech of the mayor. Let's give her a great big hand. She did a wonderful job. I am always excited to come to Tampa and be a part of these events because I have seen the real power of partnership. As I travel throughout the state of Florida, I have never been in one city where there's so much collaboration and so many partners that make the wonderful things we see witnessed here today. So I'm excited about this, and I'm really excited about the very future of this city. She said that the city is on fire. This city has always been on fire. I happen to be born in the Tampa Bay area. But on a more serious note, I am just really touched by the fact that we do have Mary Bethune building, which reflects history, and it's also a reminder of the people in this community, what she stood for as an educator, as a businesswoman, as a woman that was a leader in the community. And as our people ride by, they're reminded of what she stood for and what she means, which also gives them an opportunity to grow and to be better and to have a better quality of life. As I think back over the things that I've experienced in this city, I am very pleased that the leaders of this community have made good decisions. They have made major decisions for the development of affordable housing. The Tampa Housing Authority and Jerome and Leroy, they have been phenomenal. They're one of the top housing authorities in the country. And I have not seen, yes, you can give that a great big hand, because I have not seen one housing authority who has done a phenomenal job in terms of mixed income, mixing up the level of housing, mixed housing and affordable housing for a variety of community residents and tenants. So I'm just real grateful. And we do see the power of one decision. And I think that we have witnessed through this history of this community and the players here, the power of the decisions to make housing a priority in the Tampa Bay area. So thank you again, and thank you for the opportunity to come before you today. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
And we thank you so much for being here. I'd like to ask State Representative Diane Hart to please come forward.
Good afternoon. It is indeed a pleasure to stand before you. I've known Mr. Ryan probably for about 20 some odd years, and Leroy, I'm enamored with the things that you all are doing in this West Tampa area. Mayor, I know that we're all going to be able to work collaboratively together to ensure that we bring some money home to make sure we can get that affordable housing that we really want. You all probably know something about the Sadowski Housing Trust Fund. Those are the dollars that make this type of events possible. So what I need from you all is to continue to call Tallahassee. We fought very hard last year. They only took $125 million. They would like to have taken $225 million, but let's be grateful for what they did leave us, since they've taken over $1 billion in the past 10 years. But know that I will be in Tallahassee fighting every single day to ensure that we get our fair share of dollars out of Tallahassee. So don't hesitate to reach out to my office. Our doors are always open. We're always looking to work with everybody in our community to create additional partnerships. So I look forward to working with you all to do whatever I can in Tallahassee to ensure that we get the dollars that our city needs. So thank you very much for allowing me to say hello to you this afternoon. I'm excited about what you all are doing here. Thank you.
Thank you. And now I'd like to ask Councilman Orlando Goods to come forward for some remarks.
First of all, Mr. Ryan, thank you for the blowers. Thank you for the blowers. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's truly an honor to see development going on. Like the mayor talked about when she was a police officer. Well, when I was a police officer, I was at Stewart Middle School, but there's a resource officer back there. And I know what this place looked like. But what really got me heartfelt this afternoon is to see a good friend of mine, Miss Ursula, come out, because I lived the dream at Bethune-Cookman College. I lived the chapel, that little brick building when you first get to Cookman. In the middle is where everyone goes to meet and fellowship. And that what brings me to remind me of this building right here, of our seniors and our elderly who we have a chance to be in a new place. The city's growing, like the mayor said, we're on fire. I'm glad about the things she's doing, the work she's trying to collaborate with everyone. Despite what people think or people hear, she's working. She's been working with me everywhere I go. She makes sure that people know that we're working together. I want her to know that I truly love working with you. We're going to get it done. Mr. Ryan, you're getting it done. Leroy, you're getting it done. We're just going to get it done for Tampa. I won't belabor you long, so I'm just going to say, let's get it done.
And Councilman Guido Maniscalco, would you please come forward?
Thank you very much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I am born and raised here in Tampa, so coming down Main Street has been something that I've done my whole life. Now that I work at City Hall and have for the last few years, just so you know my route, I take Armenia down to Main Street, I cut down to Boulevard, and then I cross the Fortune Taylor Bridge, another African-American icon from this area. So we have Mary Bethune to Fortune Taylor, a lot of rich history in this area. Ursula, I have to say, Mary, amazing performance. We were at an event together for Fortune Taylor, and you were there again. You know, you blow me away. You're wonderful. As I said, coming down Main Street my whole life, there was the mural at the end that's now been redone at Howard in Maine that said, "It's time for West Tampa." And I waited years to see results from that. It's time for West Tampa. But now it truly is time for West Tampa. This is the renaissance that we're experiencing, not just here, but throughout our entire city. And this area here that is so historically significant and so important to our community, to see the massive investment coming in is something that's worthy and long overdue. So I'm proud to be here. I'm proud to be here with my colleague, Orlando Goods. We had a marathon city council day and night meeting yesterday. We spend a lot of time together now since he's elected to the board, but I'm glad to have this community partner with me and with Mayor Castor that believes in investing in affordable housing and investing in this community that will pay dividends for generations to come. Thank you very much.
We're fortunate this afternoon to have two former Bethune high-rise residents to speak to us, and so I'd like to call forward Clinton Mullins. Mr. Mullins? Oh.
Good afternoon. First, I want to thank God and His Son for us being able to be here today. And this is my old stomping ground. When I first come to Tampa, I lived in town and country, and when they told me about Bethune, I said, Bethune? What is Bethune? They said, that's a seniors high-rise building. I said, well, I think I need to be going that in. When I come into it, and I appreciate Mr. Ryan, I appreciate all the staff of Tampa Housing and the designers. Appreciate them for what they are doing for us. You're looking out for the seniors. And I thank all of you for being here. Mayor Bob Buckhorn is my old favorite mayor, but you are not. Yeah, I put in a lot of work here in Tampa myself when I come here. I did a lot of downtown work, Tampa General Hospital, St. Joseph Hospital. I put in a lot of construction there. I was over construction too, building frames and foundations. But here, this is my foundation. When they say load up, I'll be back in here. And I'll be happy to get back in here because this is home. This is the Castor. And this is the plaza. So this is what we singers that participate into what these people making a place for you to go and be comfortable. And Bethune always have been comfortable to me. I never worried about nobody walking in on me or trying to open my door because we got good security. And that's what we seniors want because we be taken over out here by people that think that you got something. You ain't got nothing. You just got a place to lay your head and be comfortable and thankful for that. And I thank y'all, and I don't want to take up too much time, and I thank you all for having me here. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mullins. And I'd like to ask Zulma Izquierdo to come forward.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Oh, yo estoy emocionada.
I'm really happy.
La señora que representó a Mary Bethune
The lady that represented
me
Miss
sacó
Mary
las
Bethune
lágrimas.
made me cry.
Ahora conozco la historia,
Now I know the story,
que de cierto contaré a mis nietos.
and something that I'm going to talk to my grandchildren about.
Quiero que sepan
I want you to know,
que cuando entré a este país,
when I came to this country,
vine a vivir a Tampa
I came to live in Tampa
con el corazón herido
with my heart a little bit broken
por pérdidas
for losses,
familiares
family losses,
y otras tantas cuestiones.
and other situations.
Este lugar
This place
sanó mis heridas.
healed my pain.
Como dijo mi amigo,
Like what my friend said,
aquí me sentí segura,
here I felt safe,
querida,
loved,
cuidada,
taken care of,
respetada.
respected.
Me hubiera gustado hacer más amistades,
I would have loved to make more friends,
pero por problemas del idioma
but because I can't speak the language,
me vi un poco apretada.
I found myself in a little
Pero
bit
esto,
stuck.
pero esto no impidió el lenguaje de los abrazos
But this didn't stop the language of hugs
y de la alegría
and of
de volver
happiness
a ver a los que vivieron conmigo.
and the happiness to be able to see those that lived with me here.
Quiero que sepan que me siento muy honrada
I feel very honored
de formar parte, aunque sea muy pequeñita,
to be part of
de este momento
to be part of this moment, even if it's small,
que estamos viviendo todos.
that we are all living.
Les agradezco infinitamente
And I thank you all,
a las autoridades de Tampa,
to Tampa Housing Authority,
también a Tampa Housing Authority, a todos,
a todos, to everything,
porque me hayan invitado. No sabía que el evento era tan magno,
She didn't realize that the event was so magnum
grande.
and it's big.
Solo me queda decirles una pequeña cosa.
I just want to say something small.
En una ocasión,
In one moment,
con mi nietecita de menos de 4 años,
with my granddaughter that's 4 years old,
cuando yo viví aquí,
when I lived here,
llegamos y cuando nos bajamos del carro que nos trajo, le dije, llegamos a casa, bebé. Y me dijo, Mimi, tú vives en un pedacito de esa casa muy grande.
she said when she came home one day after she was dropped off by her son, she said, oh, we're home. And her granddaughter told her, she's like, you're just a little part of a really, really, really big house that you have.
Y entonces ahí yo le expliqué que vivíamos muchas personas y que éramos muy queridas y que yo era muy feliz.
And that moment I explained to my granddaughter that there's a lot of people that live here and that we are all together and that we are very happy.
Nuevamente les agradezco y sí, en algún momento de la vida quisieran tenerme en cuenta, por favor, vuelvan a ponerme a vivir en este edificio.
And she wants,
Sería glorioso para mí.
it would be glorious for her to be able to come back and she wants to live here one day again. Thank you.
Muchas gracias y que Dios les bendiga a todos.
Thank you and God bless you all.
Our last speaker on the program this afternoon is Jerome Ryans, who will give our closing remarks. But before he comes forward, or he can come forward now, but this is the second ceremonial event that we've had this week. And we had a couple of residents at Cedar Point out in East Tampa also speak at our prior program. And I'm always just so touched by the residents because it really brings home the importance of what we're doing, and that the things that we're doing provide more than just a roof over someone's head. They provide really life-giving strength and family. And so I, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, would like to thank all of you again for taking the time and to say how grateful I am to be a small part of this big house that we're all contributing to. And so, one other thing. After Mr. Ryans has concluded, we have water, we have cupcakes, and we have Hippo Pops, which I'm sure you all will welcome after sitting here this afternoon. So, Mr. Ryans.
Thank you, Chair Lady. Let me acknowledge my board members. Stand up, Commissioner Clure. These are the people I work for. Let me, first of all, thank everybody for coming out, and all of our partners especially. Mayor, it's always good to see you. Thank you for being a partner. City Council, thank you for being a partner. Diane Hart, thank you for being a partner. The city government, just period, thank you for being a partner. And related, along with the Housing Authority and other agencies here that are represented, thank you for being partners. We couldn't have done this by ourselves. It takes a lot of work and a lot of commitment. I remember the days when our office was right over here. And I remember Martin's office, so Martin was the personnel director. And we made a decision to move at some point in time earlier, but because we made the decision because we knew we needed a better office space. But we also knew, too, that we had to do something about this community. And we made a decision that before we commit ourselves to buying an office building, we need to make sure we take care of our units. And we invested a lot of money in our units. But we also knew, too, that some of these places just simply had to come down. We couldn't continue to support what we had here. And we always felt like we could do better for the residents. And doing better for the residents made a lot more sense to us than having people live in the buildings that they were living in. We had crime, we had everything going on here. And it made a difference. I want to ask our staff to stand up. And Wentz, I want you to stand up, and I want Martin to stand up, because these guys were a part of our staff when we started this whole process. So stand up, guys. These are the folk that make my job easy. I don't want to say easy, but they make my job easier to deal with. You know, and I really appreciate these guys. They've just made life so much easier here. And Diane, you said we've known each other for 20 years. Don't tell everybody my age. I am getting over the hill. I was at the last meeting, the other morning, I was talking at the last ribbon cutting we had. I made a point to say I woke up one morning and I had to wake up and I sit on the side of the bed to figure out my bearings. Yeah, that's what happens when you get older. You can't figure out what you're going to do and where you're going. So by sitting on the side of the bed, I kind of turned around and looked around. I said, now what do I do next? And my wife said, I think you need to get up, take a shower, and go to work. Anyway, Mary, it's so good to have you. I mean, we have worked together for so long trying to make these communities safe and do a better job in these communities. And city council members, we look forward to working with you guys. I mean, and Diane, you've always been there. And we thank you for that. Leroy, stand up for a moment. This is my right arm right here. This is my right arm. That's my right arm. I couldn't function without him. I really couldn't. And stand up, Susie. Now, Susie is she's our CFO. Only thing that bothers me about Susie, she's always telling me about money I can't spend. She manages money very well. But I want to thank you all for coming out. It has been a pleasure to be here. And related, we look forward to doing more deals with you guys. You guys are just important to us. You made a difference in this community. And I don't want to forget about housing and urban development. Alicia, we couldn't do these things without you guys' support. It takes all the partners to make all of this happen. So again, thank you for coming out and look forward to working with each and every one of you. And we're going to do this again very shortly. Thank you.